and welcome to Therian Nation. I'm Ulfraviv.
And I'm Bax.
In this video, we'd like to discuss social media influencers, how you can spot these blogs, and their effect on the Therian community.
So before we get into today's topic, I want to cover a definition of what a social influencer is. A social influencer is a person who collaborates with businesses to create marketing campaigns and increase brand awareness. They drive sales by promoting products. Their job, which they get paid to do, is to influence people's emotions, opinions, and behaviors, and they affect purchasing decisions by appearing to have authority and knowledge. In smaller niche markets, you can also be dealing with micro-influencers, which are normal people who find special niche interests or communities to become familiar with.
Yeah, because the Therian and other kin community is still fairly small. So we're probably dealing with micro-influencers. I guess the next thing we should go over is I'll go over what to look out for, how to spot these people or these blogs. One of the main things I notice is that these blogs will actually show prices of items.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And they'll also provide links to where you can buy these items. So I'm going to put up some pictures. This is a big one on Instagram that I noticed. They have a lot of followers too. And they tag everything with Therian. So they're specifically targeting the Therian community, even though these products are, they're really normal products. Anyone might be interested in buying them. But tagging them Therian, specifically trying to target probably the young kids in our community, but anyone really. And so how do these people get paid? They're probably paid either per click, or because they provide a link to a website, they might get paid by the traffic that goes to the website.
Mm-hmm.
They could also possibly get commission on sales.
Yeah, through affiliate programs.
Mm-hmm. On Instagram, they could be getting paid per image or per post. And you might often see images go up that say, oh, if we get a certain number of followers, we're going to give away a free product, because more followers equals them getting paid more money per post.
Yeah, that's very true. You have to drive those followers.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what the whole business model is built on for those people. So.
Yep. So in the definition, it says, they're trying to influence your emotions and your behaviors. And when they say we're going to give away a free product, what they're trying to get you to tell all your friends and stuff like that. And you're going to get them more people, so you're really doing their job for them in a way. That's just kind of how it works. Another big indicator of these social media influencer blogs I've noticed is that I actually see some people telling others that, oh, you have to buy this product, or you're not a Therian if you don't buy this thing, or you don't have this thing. Yeah, I've seen that a few times, so look out for that.
That's completely ridiculous,
Yeah, of course it is.
But you're right, they are looking for people who are new to the community. They're looking to prey on people who don't, I guess, know better,
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm.
It may seem silly to worry about in a way to people who are a little more savvy, but as a community as a whole, it's something we really should be concerned about.
Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm. And also, you might notice about these blogs is that there's no personal post. They actually don't say, oh, hey, here's how I think I'm a Therian or whatever. And there's no educational material. And these people probably couldn't answer any questions about Therianthropy, not even the most basic stuff. Which leads into, it's hard to tell if the people behind these blogs are Therian or not. And just because something is tagged Therian or Therianthropy or other kin doesn't really mean that the person behind it is what is that thing, or is it Therian or other kin?
That's true. Yeah.
Next thing I want to mention is that we do see a lot of aesthetic blogs. Not all of these will actually link to the product or give prices, but I still think they're kind of a weird trend going on in the community because these items are they're just regular clothing.
Yeah.
They're not inherently Therian or other kin, and there's really nothing special about any of these products.
No, I'm seeing like a Nike shoe and a necklace.
Yeah.
It's not nothing inherently Therian about that.
And I don't understand why someone would ask a complete stranger on the internet to, hey, pick out an outfit for me. Like,
yeah,
I don't get it.
Yeah, it's a little weird. I mean, number one, I don't know, aesthetics generally have nothing to do with therianthropy in the sense of like, your own spiritual journey or psychological, whatever happens to be your explanation for, your own experience. But
yeah,
well, number one, it's not your fashion or aesthetic doesn't really necessarily have to play into that, and then on top of that, to ask someone else to come up with that for you, that's a little, I don't know, it's just odd to me. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's odd to me too. So we know that some of these items are comforting for people and they're fun, and we'll go over that in more detail in another video. Like, I have a lot of concerns due to like so many aesthetic blogs, and these blogs are potentially social media influencers, so I'd like to address that next. First thing is, all these aesthetic blogs we see make therianthropy look like alternative fashion instead of like our inner identities. And, that makes it look like, oh, if anyone wears a shirt with a wolf or something on it, then they're a Therian. But it's a lot more deep and a lot more complicated than that.
Yeah.
Really.
I mean, plenty of people choose to wear things that represent their stereotype, and that's a personal choice, but plenty of people also choose not to.
Yeah.
So.
And I think with so many aesthetic blogs, it's difficult to actually find the educational material, because in most searches on Tumblr and Instagram, things get sorted by rank, or by how many followers they have, or how much activity they have. So educational posts and blogs get put like way, way down underneath all of this other stuff that doesn't really have any significance.
Yeah, and for a community like ours, which is relatively small, that can be kind of dangerous, because you run the risk of the good information getting lost.
Yeah.
I mean, Tumblr and those sorts of sites, really, they are set up to drive that that viral following kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the prime model.
And, a lot of these blogs, they make it look like being a Therian or whatever is all about collecting items, and some of it looks more like vulture culture instead of actually therianthropy and an inner identity. Like, I see some people, they'll put up big posts with like dozens of tails, and it's just, that's not what it is, though.
Well, I mean, I'm into collecting bones and stuff, and
yeah, but I kind of keep
vulture, but
we kind of keep that separate from therianthropy, though. I mean, that's a completely different interest. I mean, it kind of can.
I don't know. I sort of wonder.
It kind of can be connected, but
I think of it as being connected. But also, I wouldn't want to, as a wolf, I'm not going to go around and collect wolf tails.
Well, yeah. What animal actually collects parts of its own species?
I don't know. I'm on the fence, I guess,
Yeah.
on that.
Okay. But I mean, specifically collecting like a bunch of tails and ears. Like,
Yeah, well, that's a little different, right?
yeah.
Because let's say you were out in the woods and you happened across like a carcass and you found like a wolf skull or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I might pick it up, but in a
It's
way,
already dead.
yeah, I might pick it up. In a way, sometimes I get worried about that because spiritually it could be a little disrespectful. But
Yeah, I get where you're coming with that.
that's why I have to try to commune with the spirit and ask it if it's okay.
Yeah.
But this is kind of
And
getting off topic.
Anyway, that's sort of personal comfort level too.
Yeah.
But with the tails, you
Mhm.
can pretty much guarantee that those animals are harvested
Oh yeah, for sure. Like
specifically
they're mostly from fur farms. And that, I mean, if you do want to get really spiritual, I mean, like when all these kids get these tails, are they cleansing them and like talking to the spirit? I mean, do they even know how?
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of a different subject.
Yeah, getting a little off topic, but that's fine.
But kids are buying these products first before they even know anything about therianthropy, really. And they're buying the products first, then they're like, oh, hey, what's my stereotype? Wow.
Yeah,
well,
that's totally the wrong way to go about it.
Yeah, exactly. And I've seen so many young kids ask now, oh my god, I don't have a tail, can I be a Therian? Like, you don't have to have a tail or ears or any of this gear to be a Therian. But
No.
Kids are getting so upset if they don't. I've also actually had 1 or 2 Therians mention to me that they're not interested in participating in the community very much anymore because they just don't relate to it. But due to like all the product collecting and stuff going on.
I'm definitely on that train. Definitely. But
yeah.
Again, that's
I mean, it's hard to get the youth of the community interested in any educational material because they just want to talk about stuff.
Which
material stuff.
Everything in moderation.
Yeah. I mean, it's okay to have these things too, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can remember read discussions from way back in the day about like different musical artists or songs or whatever that people associated with their therianthropy and stuff.
But yeah, they still do that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's healthy and fine, but
yeah.
Everything in moderation.
Mm-hmm.
It can't all be about stuff.
Right. And with so much stuff and perhaps just the collecting and buying being kind of pushed on us by social media influencers and marketing, it's a big possibility anyway. I also want to know how this is affecting like real handcrafters in our community because there are a few of them.
There are a lot of artists within our community.
Yeah.
But
kids don't want to like. I know a couple that actually, they collect tails humanely and animal products humanely, but it takes longer for them to collect these items and to tan them. And because it's actually like real work, their prices are a little bit higher, and it's hard to get the youth in the community to wait and save a little bit more money when they can buy a $10 tail off of Amazon or something.
Well, yeah, something that's been mass produced and can be shipped today.
Yeah. They want instant gratification, basically.
Which is really sad to see because historically we've always been really good at supporting our artisans and crafters within the community.
Yeah, in the past it was a pretty big deal.
Yeah. But now a lot of those people, are kind of having to find other sources of income.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, something to
Um,
think about.
I mean, we kind of see this in the furry community too. One example I have is Maskimals came out at Walmart a few months ago, and it was kind of a big deal to some furries. Um, they didn't like the idea of these low quality mass produced things in the community, but sometimes that's all people can afford to get started. And I mean, so again, in a way, it's okay, kind of, but because not everyone can afford like handcrafted, fursuit or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But so it's happening. It's kind of happening in the furry community too. So I'm sure like marketers and stuff have noticed the Therian community.
Well, I mean,
they're always looking for the newest trend anyway.
Yeah. I mean, the furry community for sure has been getting profile over the last decade or so.
Yeah.
Which has its pros and its cons.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, there has...
But the Therian community is much smaller than the furry community.
Well, I was about to say, it's not like we haven't appeared on... I don't know.
What's that show?
Yeah, we have appeared in some news and stuff.
Yeah, so there were radio programs, and then there's been some TV programs.
Yeah.
Maybe not portrayed in the best light. But.
Yeah. Some of our viewers might know what we're talking about, specifically one or two instances. But I want to know, if you're a handcrafter in the Therian community and you're watching this, let us know if you've been negatively affected by this trend and the $10 tails on Amazon or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really interested in maybe even getting more information about that and following up with some handcrafters in the community. I don't really think it would affect the furry community so much. They really support their handcrafters and the people who make fursuits. So,
yeah,
I think
it's such a vital part of their community and always has been.
Yeah, I really think the Therian community needs to get back into finding and all their handcrafters and really supporting each other a lot more.
Visual artists,
yeah,
musicians, and various things. There's people who make jewelry. There's people who make practical functional items. There's all kinds of talent within the community.
Yep.
And it's up to us to remember who those people are.
Yep. There are practical items. We see socks and clothing and stuff with our animals on it or whatever. It's okay to have practical items. I have another little quick thing to talk about here. Speaking of practical items, though, I think as Therians who claim to have inner animals, or we claim to be animals on the inside, I think we would want to be more considerate or thoughtful of our impact on the earth and mass production taking up the environment and habitat. Buying means there needs to be another mall going up somewhere, right? Another swamp filled in for a parking lot.
Yeah, or a factory to make whatever that thing is. Or...
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's important to me, remaining conscious of your impact, the footprint you're leaving on the world.
Mm-hmm. We're pretty frugal people.
Try to be.
I kind of don't understand the trend of everyone needing a tail anymore, because those animals, it's hard to tell if they were just in a fur farm or not.
Or poached. There's a lot of poaching in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this trend, could be driving some pretty bad stuff.
Yeah.
I think as Therians, we would want to be consuming less instead of more.
We ought to be conscious of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I did kind of put this out to the community a little bit, and I have some comments from a member of the community who would like to be anonymous. But this is what they said. There's a dichotomy inside each of us in that we are two or more things crammed uncomfortably into a boat designed for one. One doesn't have to be a Therian to want to save the planet, but by the same token, there are Therians who want to collect and amass stuff that's interesting or important to them somehow. Not all Therians are actually Therian. There's also the very real possibility that a significant portion of the consumers buying these products are just furries, and a few may simply be people looking for Halloween or some derivative of LARPing costumes. Also, considering the low overhead associated with online stores, I'd be curious to know how many producers are successful with the products they're offering.
And is that in reference to the Maskimals or?
Kinda. I want to go more into, like, they mentioned, like, it's Halloween and LARPing costumes.
Yeah.
Or a lot of these products have other purposes. We mentioned in the beginning of the video that most of these products aren't inherently Therian. So yeah, a lot of ears and stuff are just sold around Halloween time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're costumes.
Yeah.
For anyone.
So, yeah, essentially there's people looking to stretch the viability of these products.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Across a bigger portion of the calendar year.
Yeah. They're trying to find a wider market for sure.
Yeah.
But we've seen a lot of, like, ears and tails and animal things in Japan for a long time. I mean, anime and anthro characters are, like, a big deal there.
Yeah.
And it's all coming over here. Japanese culture.
Mm-hmm.
In a way. It's been kind of mingling for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So, actually, speaking of Japan and how, like, these ears and things are really alternative fashion, I found a video on YouTube. It's from October 3rd, 2010. It's titled Japanese Fashion Foxtail. And this girl is, she found these foxtails in a mall in Japan. She tried one on. She said she actually didn't like it or whatever. But, so, I don't know. Maybe this isn't even being targeted to Therians, or maybe it is. But it's kind of Japanese fashion that's making its way to America.
Yeah. And that's sort of just starting to, I don't know, just sort of starting to butt up against, some of our community, some of the furry community, and sort of, I don't know, muddying the waters or a little confusion there about what's what. And
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, seeing someone with a tail now doesn't mean they're Therian. Like, maybe they just think it's cool, Maybe they...
Well, I'd hazard to say that seeing someone with a tail never meant they were Therian.
Yeah.
But generally that meant they were, like, furry or getting into furry culture. But
true. I have one more quote to share from the anonymous member of the community. In a world with 8 billion people with different wants and interests, different aesthetic preferences, and a desire to either be wholly different by being the first to uncover a new idea or trend, or a desire to simply keep up with the Joneses, spheres of influence are going to overlap, and it can't be helped. So, yeah, I mean, that's true.
Yeah, that is true.
But
in that process, it's important not to lose sight of, who we are, what our community has been, where it's come from, and...
Yeah. I don't know. I see trends a lot, and I don't know. I've never been one interested in, like, following the crowd. And because we've been wanting to be more frugal, I've kind of trained myself to ignore ads and, like, all advertising. That's just background noise, and I filter it all out now. Like, I've trained myself to.
So that's your problem.
There's always...
The heck is this thing?
There's always the other side of the coin. So I'm going to put the question out there. So could people wearing more items like this actually help therianthropes be accepted by society? And what really comes to mind for me is these things called spirit hoods. And they're being sold to regular people.
They look weird.
Yeah, I don't like them. Yeah, these are being marketed to like regular people.
So it's just a fashion trend.
Yeah.
You could see why this isn't going to have wide appeal. So it's understandable why people would be looking, to find those little niche markets and stuff. But again, why? Why do we want to accept? Why do we want to buy it? Why do we want to buy it? Looking at this is probably synthetic material. Who knows who makes it? Mm-hmm. Who knows if the workers make a decent living or,
Do you think this could help? Because, we could say, hey, look, a normal person is interested in wearing this stuff. And
yeah, but I'm not.
Yeah.
So how does that help?
Fair enough.
But then I'm on the quiet side. I guess if you want to be overtly flamboyant. But then this sort of activity just helps anybody in society who wants to be overtly out there and in people's faces,
Well, it's just an interest.
It's not necessarily that it helps Therians specifically or furries specifically, but it helps just more widely people who want.
Well, I'm kind
of push the envelope visually or whatever, draw attention or whatever the goal is.
I guess it's kind of an attention seeker kind of thing, really.
Mm-hmm.
But in a way, you could look at it and say, well, throughout human history, really, humans have always been connected to animals and the earth. And, I mean...
Yeah, so it's
again,
we have
Japan. Shamanism is an ancient practice of connecting with animal spirits. You have Egyptian gods, which, are anthropomorphic. They're human bodies with animal heads. You have Norse and Germanic beliefs. So, we could say that, look, most people actually do want to express a little bit of animality or whatever. But then again, maybe anyone wearing a spirit hood's just, it's alternative fashion. They're just an attention seeker. It's hard to say.
You'd be a hit at the party.
I guess, or get picked on and made complete fun of.
One or the other.
Okay, so that's gonna conclude this video. Please share all your thoughts and your comments with us. All of our social medias, like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Tumblr. Yeah. Let us know what you think about social media influencers and aesthetic blogs and everything we've discussed. Thank you for watching, and see you again next time.
Bye.